Well, it's Groundhog Day. Again. And that must mean that I am Professor Robert E. G. Black, and this is the Groundhog Day Project.
It's one of those infinite time loop situations you might have heard about.
It's a thing where the same day keeps happening.
Time.
I wake up every day right here, right in Punxsutawney, and it's always February 2nd.
The last revision is what counts, apparently.
We are on minute 80 of Groundhog Day. We're in the home stretch, the final act. We're not to the final iteration of February 2nd just yet, but we're getting close. As this minute begins, Phil is getting a piano lesson. We hear a lot of the music from 18 Variations on a Theme by Paganini by Rachmaninoff. Or 18th Variation. Wait, is it 18 Variations or 18th Variation? Is 18 even the right number? Anyway, it's a beautiful song. If you've seen the movie Somewhere in Time, it's in there a lot. And it becomes sort of this recurring theme in this movie. At the end of last minute, we hear Phil playing it, and going into this minute, he's still playing it. And at the end of this minute, we're hearing it, not necessarily from Phil playing it, but maybe Phil is already learning a specific song, and I like that. I was going to say joked, but I think I mean it. I have considered trying to go take piano lessons, but specifically get the piano teacher to just teach me how to play the two pieces of music that Phil learns. Just as me being a smart-ass response to the people who try to guess how many days Phil's in the loop. Right now, by the way, we are on the 31st iteration of February 2nd that we see in the film. So at a minimum, it has been 31 days. Or it is the 31st day. Mary, the piano teacher, is like, "Not bad, Mr. Connors. You say this is your first lesson?" And he says, "Yes, but my father was a piano mover, so..." Which, he's being funny, but it's not a mean funny. See, his humor is getting better. And also, we don't know that his father wasn't a piano mover. He might even not be joking. It's framed like a joke. I think we do hear it as a joke, but it doesn't have to be. I would point out, this shot begins framed on the wedding photo that is on the piano, and then pans over to Phil, like pans left over to him. That is a repeated imagery in this film of wedding stuff with Fred and Debbie. Of course, earlier version of the script, their wedding was how the movie ended. I don't think we actually see the wedding, but the wedding is an event at the end of the film, at the end of the script. And I did a whole blog entry about how that is a common theme in romantic stories where they culminate with a wedding that reifies male-female relationships and holds up marriage as an ideal. And here we're getting an indication that Mary is or was married, as Phil's talking about his father. So it's like family, wholesome, small-town values. And then we cut to Phil is at the southwest corner of the square. He is directly in front of Anderson's. That's the candy store where he and Rita went on date night. Anderson's was a fake place invented by the movie, by the way. Apparently, according to the sign, this place is established, I think it says 1949. You can't quite read the numbers because they're right at the edge of the frame, but I think it's 1949. So this shop's been around for 40 years, 42 years, because it's 1991 in the movie. Filmed in 92, released in 93, but set in 91. That's just math from two different banners we see in the film about the first Groundhog Day and about what number Groundhog Day this is. Ned shows up. I hadn't noticed until today, by the way, that as we cut to this shot, you can see the PBH news van is still parked in the space over there where we've seen it parked before in the film. Twice, right? When he comes and asks Rita what she'd do if it was the end of the world, and when he comes and tells Rita they had a nice day together once. That's where the van is parked for all the events. The van is parked there. Someone is still directing traffic, so I think it's early morning. I think Ned is on his way to work just like he is normally when we see him. But he is at the opposite corner of the square from where he normally is. How he found Phil right now, I don't know. I would have to assume that Ned is stalking Phil. That's why Ned is always at that intersection in time to talk to Phil. Except for when Phil gave money to the old man, because then Ned wasn't dealing with him. But Ned probably was like, oh, that's nice. He's giving money to the old man. I'll hold back a moment. And he waited. But today, Phil maybe took a different route into the square. He didn't feel like dealing with the old man, didn't feel like dealing with Ned. Not dealing with the old man this morning is going to come back to haunt him in a moment, though, by the end of this minute. We're getting into the old man part of the movie. It's going to get kind of sad. But first, we get a joke I don't like, because I think this particular interaction between Phil and Ned would have worked better if it was earlier in the film when Phil was supposed to still be a kind of sarcastic asshole. At this point, Phil should be better than this joke. Even in 91, it feels weird that Phil is doing this. So we're at a different location in the square, but Ned finds him anyway, and he's like, Phil? Phil Connors? I thought that was you. And Phil, of course, like, Ned Ryerson, I have missed you so much. He's like hugging him, real tight, real close. I don't know where you're headed, but can you call in sick? And whose line was that? Someone had a horrible line. I always hated their description. It might be Ryan Gilby, actually. No, I hope it's not Ryan Gilby. Ryan Gilby wrote the BFI, like, detailed scene-by-scene description of the movie where he goes into some of the meaning and other stuff. Cute little book, not very big. I have a copy of that, I've read it, and quoted it many times. I don't think it's him, but someone called it, like, what did they say? Into a homophobic panic? I mean, it's kind of true, but also that's a weird way to describe it. Because Ned is like, I gotta get going. And he's like pulling away. It's good to see you, Phil. And Ned kind of runs away. He's not sprinting or anything, but he's hurrying. And Phil just kind of smiles and then turns around and walks on his way. He's about to walk past the Pennsylvania Hotel, in case you want to keep your geography straight.
Jumping in while editing because I found it while looking for something else. This episode was already edited and then I found it and I had to insert it. It comes from the script. Second revision, third revision, final revision. Phil gives Ned a big hug and keeps holding on for an uncomfortably long time, actually giving Ned a hickey on the neck. That's from the second revision. Ned goes into homophobic shock. Ned, I gotta get going. Nice to see you, Phil. He hurries off. The hickey is still there in the third revision, but it's gone by the final revision.
Because of the timing of when this is, I feel like might be right before the festivities, but it also might be a little just after. I don't know where Phil's going, necessarily. But the movie does this nice, I think this one's nice, because we're getting the nice music going, and we get a dissolve from Phil walking away from camera to Phil walking from right to left in front of us, and he is passing the alleyway that is the alleyway that goes behind the tip top, and it is right behind where he always comes around the corner past the old man and where he normally meets Ned. So my behind the scenes kind of headcanon here is the universe is drawing his attention to the old man specifically because somehow today he avoided interacting with the old man, and that's why he still had to interact with Ned. Ned just happened to be at a different corner because Phil was doing something different, and the universe is like, no, you got to deal with one of these people today. And Phil didn't deal with the old man, so he's going to have to next minute. We'll talk in more detail about that next time as we get to see, well, old Jedson O'Reilly is not having the best day. In fact, he's having his last day. And it's really sad that it starts with, I suppose with all the visitors to town, he's getting money. We do see the bigger guy in the blue coat that hands money to the old man. I think we see that a couple times. He's walking a little ways behind Phil, and he gives the old man money. We saw Phil give the old man money, but money is not going to fix it. If you want to solve homelessness, you give them a house. Let's just be political about it. Give people a place to live. It helps them, gives them the opportunity to fix other problems, whatever else is going on in their life. And then you also give them other support things. Figure out what they need and give it to them. You don't fix homelessness just by giving them a little bit of cash. The best that's going to do is buy them some food And if it's just going to buy them alcohol or drugs, fuck you for caring. Their life sucks. They're homeless. If the only way they can deal with that is to drink or to do drugs, I'm kind of okay with that. It sucks, but I'm not going to get mad at them for doing it. But again, you can fix drug problems and alcoholism and mental illness problems with homeless people with the first step of giving them somewhere to live so they have something secure and solid and consistent in their lives. And then you give them mental health support. And then you give them rehab or other drug treatment support. And you take care of people. But anyway, that is the end of minute 80. We're going to get more into the old man next minute. And I think it'll continue for a couple minutes, right? Yeah, we got the old man it's going to take Phil a couple minutes of film to figure out that he can't solve everything. Even being in a time loop, he's still trying to win. He's fixing himself. He's getting better, but he's still trying to win, and he has to stop trying to win. That's your thing for today. Stop trying to win, unless it is in trying to win in the conflict against homelessness. That's the thing to solve for today. Good luck.
Knew you were going to say that.
This has been a production of Lemming Drops Studio. You can find links to more at lemmingdrops.com or join the Facebook group Lemming Drops Studio Tour. Also, you can support all my shows at patreon.com/lemmingdrops.
What is wrong in the end which never comes? Or which comes again and again, lapping, like waves.
Since the Big Bang set everything in motion, everything that happens in this universe has to be the way it is. Particles unfolding the way they're destined to.
How do you sleep at night? You've never seen Groundhog Day?
Yeah, you know Groundhog Day is not a documentary.
Remember when Groundhog Day was just a movie?